good. You need money for that? Hey? Need some money, right? Hold on.
Hello. Sorry, sir. How you doing?
Sorry, Mrs. Shit. Four minutes, please stand by everyone.
The Prime Minister says the country is finally in the green, claiming government has made more than it spent. Tonight, a budget surplus is on the table, but is that your reality? We've got team coverage of the 2025-2026 budget communication. This as Opposition Leader Michael Pintard not holding back, calling the PM's budget a political stunt packed with broken promises and out-of-touch priorities. Plus, the Christian Council welcoming government's move to extend VAT relief on building materials. The church says the boost comes as many are still rebuilding from hurricane damage. Then in our news at 7:30, enemies of progress? Government blasting the F&M's response to the new budget, calling it blockers of progress. Our news live at 7 starts right now.
I can say with confidence that our best days lie ahead. We're not running from threats and dangers. We're not postponing taking on our hardest problems. And we do not fear the dramatic changes sweeping across the world. Instead, we are coming together. And together we will harness new opportunities and create a new era of progress and renewal.
The Prime Minister unveils the country's first balanced budget since independence, calling it a turning point for the Bahamas. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. Tonight, history made, but many still waiting for a breakthrough. Billions in investment, record-breaking tourism boom, and relief for struggling families all headline in the Prime Minister's address. But with unemployment and cost of living still high, the question now, will progress finally feel personal? We've got team coverage of the 2025-2026 budget communication delivered by the nation's leader in Parliament Wednesday. Our Berthany McDermott and Delvado Emmanuel in Parliament Square. Our Joshua Williams, he'll join us live in studio at the bottom of the hour. But we begin with Berthany. And Berthany, the Prime Minister laid out the nation's fiscal state in this year's budget communication, projecting a surplus for the first time in history while also revealing that both revenue and spending are on the rise.
Kendino, the Davis administration is celebrating what the Prime Minister says is a first since the Bahamas gained independence. Of course, this surplus comes with just over a month left in this fiscal year.
The first government in an independent Bahamas to produce a budget surplus.
The announcement gathered a standing ovation and thunderous applause from parliamentarians as Prime Minister Philip Davis outlined the country's fiscal position ahead of the 2025-2026 budget year. This means the government's revenue surpasses government expenditure. But as the PM touted a budget surplus, he also gave notice of a resolution authorizing the finance minister to borrow by way of government loan agreements or line of credit agreements.
Usually, such resolution is to borrow funds when you're in deficit, to cover your deficit. But just let me read what this is about. It's really for the purpose of refinancing.
Parliamentarians heard that for the first 9 months of the year, total revenue increased by 12.2% to $2.5 billion when compared to the year before. Davis also said the revenue improvements came from a boost in tax revenue, among other things.
Taxes on property grew by 27.3 million and total 172.9 million. VAT receipts expanded by $50.8 million and amounted to $1 billion.
Expenditure is also up.
Total expenditure increased by $238.8 million to $2.6 billion during these 9 months of the fiscal year.
In the last fiscal year, the government also spent an additional $30.9 million on capital projects. That included road repairs, investments in airport infrastructure, school ground improvements, the acquisition of medical equipment, and building resilience in public safety.
Outlays on the compensation of employees, which was increased by $20 million to a total of $649 million. Pension and gratuity payments rose by $11.2 million to $148.6 million, accounting for 78.3% of the budget target. Spending on the use of goods and services rose by $82.4 million, amounting to $514.2 million and equating to 74.8% of the budget target.
And Kendino, interest payments on public debt as well as subsidies to non-financial corporations also increased. That's according to the Prime Minister as he delivered that report in Parliament this morning. Coming to you live from Parliament Square, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Kendino.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. Our Delvado Emmanuel, he was also in the field today. And Delvado, as we heard from Berthany McDermott just a moment ago, the Prime Minister, he painted a picture of progress, outlined his plans for the future, and expressed confidence in the success of this upcoming budget. But the opposition is saying it's not buying it, and it's calling it more than a pre-election gimmick.
Yes, certainly, Kendino. Opposition Leader Michael Pintard gave a scathing review of Prime Minister's budget debate in the House of Assembly this morning. Now, despite spending nearly 3 hours outlining his administration's plans, Pintard said it was merely dream selling.
Mentioned today is 9 on top of the 15. And so, again, at best, lackluster. And again, we say, we'll give him a D.
The government is painting a picture of economic stability, declaring growth, a balanced budget, and opportunity island by island. But opposition leader Michael Pintard says it's all a dream, claiming the Davis administration is out of touch with the harsh reality of how most Bahamians are living.
The Prime Minister stood before the House and tried to sell the Bahamian people a dream of opportunity, island by island. But while the Prime Minister dreams, Bahamians are living a harsh reality, one where the cost of living keeps rising.
One of the key items Davis announced was a VAT reduction on medical supplies. Pentard says they're cleaning up a mess they've made.
When the F&M left office, feminine products and medicine were VAT-free. The PLP slapped on 10% and then turned around, dropped it to 5% and called it relief. That's not help, that's damage control.
The F&M leader also questioned the government's claim of a surplus and balanced budget while contractors, nurses, and small businesses continue to wait for payment.
When Davis says the government hasn't made any cuts, clearly he has forgotten the people that the government owes. So if there's a surplus, we say to everyone who's owed by this government, all the public servants, all of the vendors, here and abroad, call the government today. They have a surplus. They have more than enough money to pay the bills.
Pentard also slammed cuts to social assistance, claiming nearly $10 million was slashed from support programs in just 8 months. He continued to criticize performance in education and healthcare, saying it's only gotten worse.
Right now, the Rand Memorial Hospital is treating patients in a facility with only one functional operating theater. The government says it will build 2 brand new facilities. They are having problems today managing the existing facilities and clinics.
Now, Candino, Pentard said not only is it an unbalanced budget, but an unbalanced reality. And he believes with the upcoming general election, he hopes that Bahamians won't buy into what he calls is sending it back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Delvado. Our Delvado Emmanuel and Berthany McDermott reporting from Parliament Square tonight. We'll check back in with you, Berthany, and our news at 7:30. Our Joshua Williams, who is also tracking today's events, he'll join us in studio with government's unusual response after the opposition had its say. And as we continue our budget coverage, Bahamas Christian Council President Apostle Delton Fernando welcoming government's decision to extend VAT relief on building materials for religious institutions.
That because we are mostly billing to code and billing to a certain standard throughout the length and breadth of the island, if these VAT reliefs can be continued, because these entities always provide a service beyond hurricanes, beyond community meetings, beyond times of needing to bunker down during major catastrophes. These buildings need that kind of relief because most times they're damaged and they have no recourse.
And the Christian Council president says he also hopes to see an adjustment on import tariffs on musical and technical equipment used in churches. He says this, coupled with funding to assist at-risk programs by the church, can make their ministries more impactful.
Whether it's drug-related, whether it's those in need of shelter, those in need of being, how should I put it, they're in difficult court cases and they need to be removed out of general population. You'll have to dig deep to see some of the things that the church do, the giving of vaccinations, the AIDS therapy is done through some of Samaritan outreach. And I'm thankful that budgets are being made available, that these programs, at-risk programs, can be continued.
All right, we go far south now, as days after word spread on social media that an Ackland's father was brutally killed. Police finally confirmed this morning that they have launched a murder investigation. Human remains were found on Tuesday afternoon, and police issued a statement this morning saying a 21-year-old man had been arrested in connection with the gruesome crime. As we reported last night, the bizarre murder has rocked the small, quaint and quiet Ackland's community. Sources telling our news that 57-year-old Sean Ferguson was allegedly decapitated. Sources also tell us 2 close relatives were being questioned by police. Earlier this week, investigators from New Providence traveled to the island to search for Masons Bay resident who had been missing since 10 p.m. Sunday. Now, today's update from police comes, as we said, after days of silence and unanswered questions posed by the press since Sunday. Their only public statement before that was on Monday night when they confirmed they were searching for a missing Ackland's man. And a court has seized more than $11,000 from a Haitian man who failed to declare the money to Bahamian customs. 32-year-old Emmanuel John Baptiste was arrested on May 27th at Lyndon Pinning International Airport with $11,360. While it's not illegal to travel with large sums of money, travelers have to fill out a form when they are carrying more than $10,000. Baptiste pleaded guilty to failing to declare the money when he appeared before Magistrate Kendra Kelly Burrows. In addition to losing his money, Baptiste had to pay a $500 fine to avoid spending 2 months in jail. All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie, he's standing by in the Weather Center. Ian?
Thanks, Candino, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Wednesday evening forecast. No, it's not the weekend yet, so just take it easy. Hump day. But currently outside our studios, still hot out there, 84 degrees under clear skies. Feels like a muggy 93, folks. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Winds are from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. Across the country at this time, we still have those high temperatures in place. Allenstown, 84, as well as in Freeport, Nicholstown, and in the capital, 83 in Great Harbor Key and Governor's Harbor, Luther, 82 in Marsh Harbor. Central Bahamas continuing with those 84s in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Arthurstown, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. 83s across Black Point, Port Nelson, and in Coburn Towns in Salvador. Southeast Bahamas, 83 in Duncantown. We have a trio or quads of 84s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. 86 is the hot spot tonight down in Matthewtown in Agua. First look now at our satellite and radar composite. Broad high pressure area across us, suppressing any type of weather. That should spell for warm, hot conditions continuing throughout the course of the week. Stay tuned. More in your forecast straight ahead.
Coming up in sports, the Don't Blink brand is expanding its reach to more than just a home run derby. Professional softball is headed to the Bahamas.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Liking Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV. Experience more.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't no being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show with Ian Dallard.
Phosphorescent. Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of grooving is here.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The Don't Blink brand has expanded its reach to women's softball, and it is set for a new initiative, hosting several pro franchises right here on our shores. The inaugural Queen of Paradise Women's Professional Softball Series will take place June 19th to 21st at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. The 3-day event will feature a 3-game series between the Atlanta Smoke and the Orlando Monarchs of the Women's Professional Fast Pitch Softball League. The Final Four were in action this afternoon at the New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championships. We'll tell you how they got there. On the girls' side, the St. Andrews Hurricanes advanced with a 3-0 win over the D.W. Davis Royals. Windsor advanced by walkover over the H.O. Nash Lions. On the boys' side, the Anatole Rogers T-Wolves won 4-2 over the Hurricanes. The Life Key Dragons defeated the S.C. McPherson Sharks 3-1. That would do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as international students at Harvard speak out against the Trump administration. Plus, the United States Secretary of State says visa revocations probably in the thousands. And we'll tell you the SpaceX Starship that spins out of control when our news returns.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV. Experience more.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't no being any more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show with Ian Dallard.
Phosphorescent. Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Students and faculty at Harvard University rallied Tuesday in defense of international students, urging the university to stand firm as federal pressure mounts. The U.S. government has already pulled nearly $3 billion in research grants and is now pushing agencies to cut or shift another $100 million in contracts. A judge has temporarily blocked efforts to stop Harvard from enrolling international students who make up over a quarter of its student body. Harvard is suing, calling the crackdown a threat to free speech and due process.
Let's be clear. This has nothing to do with combating anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a real problem. It's a problem at Harvard. It's a problem in our country. But these policies will do nothing to combat this age-old hatred.
But Donald Trump doesn't actually care about Harvard. He wants to take Harvard down because universities stand for free ideas and for free speech. Free ideas and free speech get in the way of authoritarians. And so like authoritarians before him in places like Russia, like Turkey, and like Hungary, Donald Trump is attacking universities.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's likely revoked thousands of visas, and he's not done yet. Speaking before a Senate subcommittee recently, Rubio said visas are a privilege, not a right. Under a 1952 law, the Trump administration has been cracking down, even targeting some lawful permanent residents if they're deemed a threat to U.S. foreign policy.
What's the number up to now? How many visas have you revoked?
I don't know the latest count, but we probably have more to do.
Can you give us an estimate?
Probably in the thousands at this point, depending. Not all of them are at under that statute. Some are people. So there's two visa
SEVIS, I don't want to go into SEVIS. It's a separate issue. And
No, they're related, but we can't conflate them because they're two different. One is the one you've decided, national interest of the United States. Some of the visa revocations are happening because somebody violated the terms of their visa. They dropped out of school or they got convicted of a crime or some criminal investigation.
Okay.
Those are separate from what you've said.
So 300 in March, but now 1,000. How many under this 1952 Act?
I'd have to get you a good answer, but probably under 1,000. But I'd have to get you the right answer. I don't want to speculate about the exact number.
And SpaceX's Starship rocket blasted off from Texas Tuesday, soaring higher than previous attempts, but once again didn't stick the landing. About 30 minutes in, the massive spacecraft spun out of control, scrubbing key test goals, including a planned satellite release. The 400-foot rocket is central to Elon Musk's dream of sending humans to Mars, but the mission ended with SpaceX losing contact with its booster, which crashed into the ocean instead of performing a controlled landing. And Sean Diddy Combs lost his bid for mistrial Wednesday in his federal sex trafficking case. His lawyers argued prosecutors wrongly implied he destroyed evidence tied to an alleged arson. A judge quickly shut that down, telling jurors to disregard the claim. The 55-year-old has pleaded not guilty to multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. Rapper Kid Cudi recently testified that his car was torched in 2012, shortly after Combs learned that Cudi had dated Combs' ex. Prosecutors say the arson is part of a larger pattern of violence and control that Combs used to silence women. So to come in our news today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 28th. Then in our news at 7:30, our coverage of today's budget communication continues. The Prime Minister outlines new VAT cuts and customs exemptions. And Sedema urging regional readiness for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. The story when our news returns.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Like in Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas, channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available.
Welcome back to our news. On this day in Bahamian history, born in Nassau on this day in 1917, Sir Gerald Cash, a legal and political pioneer. He earned his Cambridge certificate at just 15, was called to the Bahamas Bar in 1940, and passed the UK Bar with honors. And on this day in 2015, the Christie administration implemented value-added tax at 7.5%, a drop from the initially proposed 15%. All right, if you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was May 28th, be sure and head over to ournews.bs. You can watch all of today's top stories there, as well as on Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall. She's up next with the latest headlines. Italia?
Can big day in the country?
Certainly.
Budget day?
I mean, listen, anything in the green sounds really good, right?
Yeah.
So let's hope it stays there.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce partners with the Small Business Development Center for an empowerment session for entrepreneurs. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our News Live at 7:30, from diapers to medication to building supplies, new tax breaks are coming. We'll break down what you need to know from today's budget communication by the nation's leader. We have team coverage. Plus, hear what the opposition say is missing from the Davis administration's new budget. We have their full comments coming up. Also, Mount Moriah MP Mikkel Bonnerby claps back at the opposition's criticism. Our Joshua Williams joins us live with more in the fiery exchange. And later, with the hurricane season just days away, regional disaster officials are ramping up readiness and is warning the Bahamas to do the same. That's all coming up when our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Diet-friendly special.
Mosquitoes becoming an issue? Struckham Commercial Pest Services is the #1 service provider for vanquishing those annoying bugs. Mosquitoes are more than a nuisance. They're also a health risk, transmitting diseases including malaria, dengue fever, and even the West Nile virus. With accredited verified training and technology, Struckham will deal with the conditions that invite mosquitoes, tackle current infestations, and stop their life cycle, therefore reducing the number of mosquitoes on your corporate property. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny.
I can say with confidence that our best days lie ahead. We're not running from threats and dangers. We're not postponing taking on our hardest problems. And we do not fear the dramatic changes sweeping across the world. Instead, we're coming together. And together we will harness new opportunities and create a new era of progress and renewal.
A first in Bahamian history as the Prime Minister touting a balanced budget with a surplus. Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Prime Minister Philip Davis unveiled the country's first balanced budget since independence, calling it a turning point for the Bahamas, billions in investment, a record-breaking tourism boom, and relief for struggling families, all headline in his address. But with unemployment and cost of living still high, the question now, just when will Bahamians feel the progress? We've got team coverage of the 2025-2026 budget communication delivered by the nation's leader in Parliament Wednesday. Our Berthie McDermott live in Parliament Square, and our Joshua Williams joining us in studio. But we begin with you, Berthie. We understand that the Davis administration is looking to bring relief to Bahamians with an expanded list of VAT cuts and customs duty exemptions. Berthie?
Italia, a little over a month after he reduced VAT on some food items, the Prime Minister is now expanding that list along with some custom duties exemptions. He referenced the tariff wars and its impact on the economy, as well as the rising inflation as reason for these cost-saving initiatives. Now, of course, we will just have to wait and see the impact this will have on Bahamians, but he says it can happen soon.
These reductions will take effect September 1st, 2025. Yes. They are aimed at ensuring that Bahamians of all ages and stages of life can access essential products.
The upcoming fiscal year will bring a list of value-added tax cuts and the expansion of the customs duty exemptions. While delivering the 2025-2026 budget communication in Parliament Wednesday, Prime Minister Philip Davis said the VAT cut is a part of an ongoing effort to promote affordability. The VAT rate will be cut to 5% on the following items.
Baby diapers.
Yes.
Okay. That's Pampers, right?
Yes.
Baby diapers.
Mothers. Yes. Children.
Depends.
Yes.
Elderly. Right. Feminine hygiene products. Prescription and non-prescription drugs.
Medical and dental supplies and other medical and therapeutic items are also on that list. The amended VAT Act will also see VAT relief on building materials for religious institutions, recognizing their vital role in supporting and uplifting communities. Davis explained the relief will come in the form of VAT exemptions on imports or as a refund system if purchased locally. And while the government is handing out VAT cuts, customs duties are also being removed from digital and changeable letter signs, among other things.
Refractory cement, mortars and concrete, and similar compositions. Copper fittings, screws and nuts and bolts. Duty on the following items is being reduced. Cleaning products, electric or battery operated shavers, juice extractors, trucks weighing 20 tons and above, and filters of all kinds from water to air conditioning filters.
Duty exemptions will also be placed on household appliances with the highest level of energy efficiency. It's all in hope of encouraging Bahamians to adopt cleaner technologies, directly contributing to climate goals. The Davis administration is also reducing the cost of fuel sources used by many households. The 45% excise duty on butane fuel will also be removed.
Many Bahamians rely on this fuel for a hot meal, whether day-to-day or during emergencies. This is part of our broader commitment to build resilience and affordability into everyday life, especially where it may help the most.
Now, with these changes set to come into effect on September 1st, that means businesses have just over 3 months to adjust to these changes. Coming to you live from Parliament Square, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Italia.
All right, thanks so much for that, Berthany. Now, the opposition wasted no time firing back at today's budget communication, and the government had their rebuttal just moments later. Our Joshua Williams was at Parliament as it all unfolded, but before we come to you, Josh, I want us to take a quick look at what the opposition had to say. Leader Michael Pintard blasting the Prime Minister's budget communication, calling it a pre-election gimmick filled with broken promises, misplaced priorities, and a reality that he says Bahamians simply aren't living. While the Prime Minister painted a picture of economic stability, declaring growth and a balanced budget and opportunity island by island, Pintard says it's all a dream. He insists the Davis administration is out of touch.
Today, the Prime Minister stood before the House and tried to sell the Bahamian people a dream of opportunity, island by island. But while the Prime Minister dreams, Bahamians are living a harsh reality, one where the cost of living keeps rising.
One of the key items Davis announced was a VAT reduction on medical supplies. Pintard says the PLP is cleaning up the mess it made.
When the F&M left office, feminine products and medicine were VAT-free. The PLP slapped on 10% and then turned around, dropped it to 5% and called it relief. That's not help, that's damage control.
All right, we now go to our Joshua Williams, who is live in studio tonight. And Josh, after the opposition wrapped up their response, the Davis administration wasted in no time. A representative hit back with a televised statement just moments later. What can you tell us?
Yes, Italia. Barnaby stood in front of the cameras as soon as Pintard was done giving his main response. It was a prepared statement as the Member of Parliament stood in front of a teleprompter hitting back at the opposition. He didn't take questions, but here's what he had to say.
They accused, they dismissed, they spun. But what they failed to do was what this government has done consistently. Speak honestly, take responsibility, and most importantly, deliver.
The first-time Member of Parliament from Mount Moriah, not mincing any words, giving a swift response to the opposition. He weighed in after Opposition Leader Michael Pintard wrapped up their response to the 2025-2026 budget communication. Barnaby accusing the Free National Movement of constantly trying to talk down good news.
When the country moves forward, they try to drag it back. When a government governs with discipline, they call it a failure because it wasn't theirs. They don't just oppose our policies, they oppose our success.
One of the opposition's main points, the surplus touted by Prime Minister Davis is not felt by the average taxpayer. Barnaby disagrees.
They're feeling the price of bread is a little bit lower. They're feeling more of their roads are being paved. They're seeing clinics finally being opened. They're seeing school breakfast programs in every constituency. They're seeing the government show up and follow through.
Well, Italia, while it is budget time, we are still in election season. No doubt both sides will be firing shots back and forth as debate kicks off next week. Italia?
All right, thanks so much for that in-depth reporting. Our Joshua Williams in studio for us and our Bercy McDermott in Parliament Square tonight. Thank you both. All right, switching gears now. With the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season just days away, disaster officials across the region are ramping up preparedness efforts. Today, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, also known as SEDEMA, held a virtual press briefing warning of an above-average season and outlining what's being done to protect vulnerable nations like the Bahamas. With the 2025 hurricane season officially beginning June 1st, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency is bracing for what's expected to be another intense year. Forecasters are projecting an above-average hurricane season. SEDEMA Executive Director Elizabeth Riley says their readiness and response system is being strengthened through a series of initiatives aimed at supporting member states when disaster strikes.
This update will ensure that our system remains responsive and flexible in the face of complex and evolving emergencies.
More than 100 officers from military, police, and fire services across the region are being trained. Mental health response teams are also being prepared. And as for regional readiness, Riley pointed to Hurricane Beryl last year, a rare early season Category 5 storm, as a wake-up call.
It is important for us to follow the science, listen to the guidance from the climate scientists, and also to learn from previous events.
The organization, through various partnerships, has helped strengthen infrastructure like schools in several countries and secured both financial and technical support, including commitments of up to $750,000. One of those partnerships is with the United Kingdom. British High Commissioner to Barbados, Simon Mustard, explains the value of that agreement.
We can provide up to nearly $375,000 worth of support per country, but we do have a mechanism within that where our colleagues at SEDEMA have up to $50,000 already available immediately.
Support from the private sector is also a key part of SEDEMA's regional strategy, and while the agency hasn't been directly affected by U.S. policy shifts, Riley says some ripple effects have been felt.
As you are aware, the Regional Disaster Assistance Program, which was one of the key flagship programs of the Bureau for Humanitarian Affairs, that was placed initially on stop order.
And during the Q&A session, the organization addressed ongoing efforts to support Haiti and how it's responding to droughts that often follow major storms. Program Manager for Preparedness and Response, Mandela Christian, says partnerships are key.
We work closely with the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, and they do provide us with bulletins on drought forecast, and those bulletins are made available and are available to the respective states.
All right, well, hot temperatures on this Wednesday. What can we expect for the rest of the work week? Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Ian.
Thanks, Italia, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Wednesday evening forecast. We are currently outside our studios under clear skies. High temperatures still around 84. Feels like still muggy, 91. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. satellite and radar composite at this time. We still have this broad area of high pressure. This will continue to support mostly warm and hot conditions across the area throughout most of the week. Stay tuned. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a disturbing accusation. A man behind bars tonight accused of incest involving his own child. Also, thick smoke and flames came dangerously close to homes today in Eleuthera. And later, with big investments on the way to Grand Bahama, the Chamber of Commerce is helping local entrepreneurs prepare for a boom on Thursday. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't no being any more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lad.
Phosphorescent.
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
A 31-year-old man is behind bars accused of incest against his daughter. The man's name has been withheld to protect the child's identity. Prosecutors say the man sexually abused his then 9-year-old daughter from August 2023 to April 27, 2025. The child is now 11. The man faced 22 counts of incest when he stood before senior magistrate Anishka Isaacs. He didn't have to enter pleas to the charges and was denied bail. He returns to court on August 21st to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, another brush fire igniting, coming close to homes and flooding a community in thick cloud of blinding white smoke. This time in Palmetto Point, Eleuthera. We spoke to the officer in charge of the Eleuthera Division, Superintendent Franklin Neely, who said they were alerted to the blaze after 1 p.m. on Tuesday. He says when police arrived on scene, they discovered it was an area that was hard to access, and it created a challenge when it came to fighting the fire.
The officers used due diligence, and they was able to attack the place and began to extinguish the fire. However, a number of light poles were damaged. This may have caused a power outage in the mentioned area.
Neely says the fire burned through several acres of land. The fire also impacting electricity in that community. Bahamas Power and Light releasing a statement saying the fire damaged several utility poles. Helping police battle this blaze was the volunteer firefighting group, Men of Faith. Neely says they're thankful for the help. As for that, the fire is now under control.
To date, the fire is still ablaze. However, the Men of Faith and the officers from the Governor's Harbor Station still standing guard and assisting in extinguishing the fire.
Coming up in sports, the Queen of Paradise Series is bringing pro softball to the Bahamas, and we update you on the inaugural New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championships.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? They ain't being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lad.
Phosphorescent.
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The Don't Blink brand has expanded its reach to women's softball and it is set for a new initiative, hosting several pro franchises right here on our shores. The inaugural Queen of Paradise Women's Professional Softball Series will take place June 19th to 21st at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. The three-day event will feature a three-game series between the Atlanta Smoke and the Orlando Monarchs of the Women's Professional Fast Pitch Softball League.
When it comes to what we're doing and the vision that I really had is about doing something epic and just giving back. So I talked to these cats right here on the side and I said, we got to do something that's epic, something that we can do to change the game. And they was like, hey, why don't you bring softball to the Bahamas? And I was like, you know what? That might be a good idea.
Games will be hosted at 7 p.m. each night, and there will also be a free youth softball clinic on Friday, June 20th. Event organizers said the series aims at providing the same exposure and opportunities for young women as the Home Run Derby has done for young men.
But we want to pour into the future generation, you know, the kids that are coming up, the young ladies that are coming up, that don't feel like there's hope. There is hope, and with Don't Blink, anything is possible. But first with God, of course.
Tickets are priced at $10 for adults, and children 12 and under will be free. The Final Four were in action this afternoon at the New Providence Junior High School Soccer Championships. We'll tell you how they got there. On the girls' side, the St. Andrews Hurricanes advanced with a 3-0 win over the D.W. Davis Royals. Paris Saunders scored 2 goals while Isla Lightbourne added the third. Windsor advanced by walkover over the H.O. Nash Lions. The GSSSA champions elected to forfeit their matchup due to external examinations. On the boys' side, the Anatole Rogers T-Wolves won 4-2 over the Hurricanes. On the other side of the bracket, the Life-A-Key Dragons defeated the SC McPherson Sharks 3-1. Marley Nixon scored first for the Dragons, and the Sharks' Adrian Ferguson scored the equalizer to tie it at the half. Dirk Simmons scored twice in the second half to seal the win for the Dragons and book their spot in the final. That would do it for Our Sports. It's a lot of excitement today. It's like the Super Bowl for news people, but that horrible Pats-Rams Super Bowl in Atlanta. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, with big investments on the way to Grand Bahama, the Chamber of Commerce is helping local entrepreneurs prepare for a boom this week. And Ian is back with your extended weather forecast when our news continues. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Hey, y'all gotta watch the Charlie Banana show this week, you know. Me and Battle could be on. We take over from Charlie Bahama. He ain't here no more. Me and Battle could be on. You see? And we got the creator of Collage Them, Stop Like in Man, and Tag on Everything. He could be on the show with Charlie Banana, okay? Saying? Cable Bahamas channel 212, 8 o'clock Friday. Be there or don't.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? There ain't no being no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee show in the lad.
Phosphorescent.
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy Charlie Bahama.
New season of groovin' is here.
Thanks everyone for sticking with us. Here's a look now at your extended forecast, where we continue to have this broad area of high pressure across us that will continue to support warm to very hot conditions across us, and we're advising residents to remain hydrated and to resist staying outside for long periods. Find some shades and do dress in slack clothes, okay? Boating forecasts across our area, winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest and central. Island seas 2 to 4 feet. High tide at 9:52 p.m. tonight. Low tide at 4:25 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the southeast Bahamas, we do have a caution in effect for you boaters, and there's also a risk for rip currents for you swimmers. Winds will be easterly at 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Here's a look now at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, that persistent area of broad pressure will gradually weaken by the weekend. We do expect an uptick in moisture across our area to start June and into next week. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
All right, thanks so much for that, Ian. Well, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is teaming up with the Small Business Development Center to support local entrepreneurs with billions of dollars in investments expected to hit the island. The goal to help small businesses get ready for what's being called an incoming economic boom. The Chamber will host an EDU mixer this Thursday at 6 p.m. at its headquarters. Chair of the Small Business Development Committee at the Chamber, Terrence Roberts III, says it will be an informative session.
I will explore how incorporation can strengthen your business structure and open doors for growth, funding, and credibility. Attorney Wendell Smith, who is the chair of our Ease of Doing Business Committee, will be providing the information to our guests. In collaboration with the Small Business Development Small Business Development Center, we'll highlight how our joint efforts are creating more opportunities for businesses here in Grand Bahama today and into the future. We understand that there has been a long-standing perception that the Chamber of Commerce primarily serves an elite group of businesses. But I'm here today to acknowledge these concerns and assure you that we are committed to changing that narrative.
Outreach coordinator at the SBDC, Jeffrey Pinder, says the event is also about empowering local entrepreneurs.
This partnership reflects our shared commitment to building a stronger, more resilient business community here in Grand Mama as a whole. This upcoming Edu Mixer will focus on two key areas. First, the importance of business formalization through incorporation, which not only builds credibility, but opens the door to expanded opportunities, partnerships, and also growth.
All right, and that event is on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. And if you want to see that story again, it's available now on ournews.bs. And remember, we're also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Be sure to follow us. All right, and with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.